could hope for.
We are now ready for the tip of our Sonic blockbuster matchup. Number 1 Auburn and number 17 Kentucky in their only regular season matchup. Our officials, Joe Lindsay, KB Burdett, and Chuck Jones. Underway, and it's Auburn with the first possession of the afternoon. Denver Jones at the point, guarded by Lamont Butler. What an outstanding matchup that is, Jay, between two of the premier on-ball defenders in the nation, as Miles Kelly, wasting no time, knocks down a corner three.
Got a little fade screen from Dylan Cardwell, wide open in the corner. Miles Kelly, the best shooter on this Auburn team, getting him going early is a good sign for the Tigers.
With Jackson Robinson out, Kobe Bryant, number 4, into the starting lineup. Kentucky's best shooter. And here's another great matchup. Amari Williams, Dylan Cardwell, a big, strong defender. Williams can't get a shot off. Andrew Carr can, and he hits.
Anytime the ball goes into the post, you're going to see Kentucky with split action and cuts to the basket. Lamont Butler cut, couldn't get the ball, but Andrew Carr was right there to pick it up.
The usual starting 5 for the number 1 team in the nation, including Janai Broome, one of the top 2 candidates for National Player of the Year, and he just turned it over. Otega Owe came over and took it from him.
As soon as he turned his back, Owe was on his way to take it away from him.
Owe coming off an extraordinary game Wednesday night in Norman against Oklahoma, his former school. Kobe Bryant misses the 3. Denver Jones the rebound.
Bryant doesn't miss many of those. A little step back. And Kobe Bryant has done a really good job of late in rebounding. Had 7 big rebounds. Mark Popo called them man-sized rebounds against Oklahoma.
Auburn's only 2 losses, at Duke and at home against Florida. Unbeaten on the road in SEC play, 7-0. The fadeaway short from Broome.
Really nice job defensively by Amari Williams to stay between Janai Broome and the basket.
Carr, much healthier now than he was a few weeks ago, was dealing with a back issue. Great cut by Butler, but he can't lay it in.
Had to use that left arm, and that left shoulder has been a problem for him most of the year. He's wearing a huge brace on that left shoulder.
Has missed a total of 8 games with a number of different injuries, and he is incredibly important to Kentucky. Cardwell the rebound. Jones misses the 3. Williams down with it for the Cats.
Anytime a shot goes up, the Kentucky guards are going to smash down to rebound. That means if Auburn gets an offensive rebound, they can kick it out for a 3.
Boy, every matchup you look at, Jay, is fascinating. All 5 of them right now on the floor.
Well, Auburn does a lot of switching, so their matchups are going to change. Kentucky does not switch as often. They do in emergency situations.
Another great cut, and Amari Williams with a beautiful find to Otega Owe.
And that's why when Kentucky cuts, you have to have extraordinary pressure on the ball to keep Amari Williams from making that pass. Beautiful feed.
Both teams will run a lot of offense through their 5-man. Williams is averaging 3 assists per game. Jones got hit on the arm and will shoot a couple. The foul on Butler.
When Amari Williams gets the ball, they can initiate offense through him all over the floor. A terrific back cut on the top lock situation by Otega Owe. They were supposed to switch that, just didn't get the switch in time. Miles Kelly just a little bit late, but a spectacular pass from Amari Williams. 2 really good passing big guys in this game.
Denver Jones at the line. His play this season, one of the biggest reasons why Auburn has had the season they have had. Defensively, he's outstanding. Offensively, he's not really a true point guard, but he has done a very nice role moving the ball and recently scoring the ball. The SEC Player of the Week 2 weeks ago, and he is averaging better than 15 a game, Jay, over his last 5.
And during that 5-game stretch, he's 12 of 24 from 3. Bruce Pearl wants him to be more of a scorer. Let Chad Baker-Mazara do more of the playmaking.
Sahad Pettiford will come in off the bench for Auburn as well in the backcourt. Williams bothered by Cardwell. Brea from the corner. Short. And the rebound to Jones.
Good job by Kentucky to get back in transition after that Brea shot. It bounced toward the Auburn basket. That can usually lead to a break.
Jones got poked in the eye, and he's motioning to the bench about it. Looks like he might have to come out of the game. Step back. Baker Mazzara is short, and Williams another rebound.
Solid defense by Kentucky to force a really tough two.
And a kick ball there on Cardwell. And Jones is indeed heading to the bench.
He ran into his own guy. Miles Kelly right here took a shot to the face. You want to get shoulder to shoulder, but not face to face.
So Jones, who may have been coming out anyways, is on the bench. Tahad Pettiford is in. Chaney Johnson is in for Auburn as well. For Kentucky, Brandon Garrison and Travis Perry have entered the game. A steal by Kelly. Out ahead of the pack. Carr giving chase, but Kelly lays it in.
Right, and that's a thing that Kentucky cannot afford. Turnovers for touchdowns. You can't guard a run out.
Auburn by 3, just over 4 minutes into this one. Away, and a late whistle and a foul call on Baker Mazzara will send Otega Owe to the foul line when we get back. Auburn by 3 in the early going.
Auburn's pressure on the ball has been good. And when you get pressure on the ball, the passer has to turn his back. Garrison's got to turn his back, tries to lay it off, gets knocked away by Janai Broom, and Miles Kelly, 1-0, the best way to play basketball.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Sonic, an official sponsor of the SEC. Live free, eat Sonic. Auburn has lost the last 20 times that it has come to Rupp Arena. 1988, the last time the Tigers won in this building, and ironically, UK was #1 in the nation in 1988. Auburn all-time 2-51 in Lexington. Bruce Pearl 0-6 is the Auburn head coach at Rupp Arena. Where were Mark Pope and Bruce Pearl in 1988? Bruce Pearl was an assistant at Iowa, and Mark Pope was a high school player, still a few years away from getting to Kentucky as a player.
Bruce Pearl looks like Lou Ferrigno there. Mark Pope in 1988 was playing at Newport High School in Seattle for Rich Belcher, and some of his high school teammates are actually here at the game.
Yeah.
I watched him shoot around after Kentucky's practice yesterday, and I said, those jump shots look like they were coached by Rich Belcher, who was also my coach in high school.
Oh, really? That was a look at today's Sonic blockbuster. Otega Owe knocks down both. How about the game he had Wednesday night at Oklahoma? Scored 28 points. He scored their last 18 points. Nobody else for Kentucky scored in the last 9 minutes, and Owe's last basket was the game winner with just a couple of seconds left in a 1-point win for the Wildcats.
Otega Owe was absolutely magnificent against his old team, the Oklahoma Sooners. On the road in that environment to put up 28 points with 23 in the second half and scoring the last 18 points. You just don't see that very often.
Miles Kelly coming off a screen and burying it.
He set a screen first and then came off a Janai Broom screen.
And count it.
Boy, Chad Baker Mazzara is a playmaker on both ends of the floor, and when he's fully engaged, talk about a difference maker. He can make shots at the end of the clock. He's long and athletic, can make defensive plays, and just made a spectacular play for Auburn on the road in a difficult environment.
Had a great game Wednesday against Ole Miss. Knocked down 4 threes, scored 22 points. And Bruce Pearl told us yesterday at practice he was under the weather during the week, but still played, and I'm using Bruce's word here, brilliantly Wednesday night against Ole Miss. And as you said, he can impact the game in so many different ways.
At both ends of the floor, just a lazy pass by Otega Owe. And Chad Baker Mazzara was alert to the action.
And the 90% free throw shooter completes the 3-point play. Auburn now up by 7.
And Auburn putting a little pressure on with Travis Perry running the point. They really want to pressure him, and I think they want to go after him on the offensive end. Tahad Pettiford tried to do that the first time he touched the ball.
Again, Jackson Robinson out with a wrist injury again. Kurt Kreese has been out forever. Lamont Butler has gone to the bench, and that means minutes for Travis Perry, who along with Trent Noah and Colin Chandler, all of them have been playing more because of the injuries, and it's another Kentucky turnover.
Auburn is switching everything. They're switching every exchange, and Kentucky's going to have to be more alert to that. And at times, what you can do is actually screen your own man.
You get a look at Robinson, who returned Wednesday against Oklahoma, played 12 minutes in the first half, didn't play in the second half, unavailable today, again dealing with that wrist injury.
Auburn runs at times a 5-out offense. That can be really difficult to guard.
Boy, Kelly is feeling it and banks it home. It's his third free of the game, and he's already got 11 here this afternoon.
Well, he had 13 points, was 3 of 5 from 3 against Ole Miss. His best game was probably Florida, where he had 22 points, but he's on a heater right now. There he goes again.
And banked home another one. Banks home a 3 on back-to-back possessions, and it's a 13-point lead. A 12-0 run for the Tigers, and an air ball from Lamont Butler.
He was wide open when he caught it and should have shot it in rhythm, but Miles Kelly, 2 in a row, right off the window. Little fade action, shoots it right over Kobe Brea, and banks it in. And to prove that wasn't a fluke, he decided to do it on the other side of the floor.
Wow. 3-ball corner pocket twice, banking it in from Miles Kelly. Have you ever in your life seen a guy bank home consecutive 3?
No. I can't say that anymore, but no, that's the first time.
Yeah.
Boy, Auburn with a little bit of a shock to the system to Kentucky. It is mindful of what happened when they played at Auburn. Great steal. What hands.
Baker Mazzara back to Broom and misses the layup. Chandler. Oweh got 2 in the air. Now the drive. And Williams will put it home. A much-needed bucket for the Wildcats.
What Kentucky really needs are some stops on the defensive end. You're not going to see Janai Broom miss many of those opportunities like he just had after that behind-the-back pass by Baker Mazzara.
Oweh trying to prevent Kelly from catching the ball. Now Butler switches onto him. Pettiford in off the bench. The McDonald's All-American, such a gifted player with the offensive end, and he draws a foul.
Auburn has so many players, Dan, that can make individual plays when things break down in the offense, and that was a great example. But take a look at these great hands by Chad Baker Mazzara. You show the ball trying to go by him. That left hand, he's left-handed, great behind-the-back pass. Surprised that Janai Broom didn't finish that. Maybe got a little bump. But that's just spectacular hands. And a couple of very alert defensive plays to start this game from Chad Baker Mazzara. How funny was he yesterday at the shoot-around? At Auburn's shoot-around, Chad Baker Mazzara, toward the end of the shoot-around, went over to the microphone at the scorer's table that the officials use for replays to make an announcement.
Yep.
And he bent down, hit the button, and said, "Flagrant foul on Chad Baker Mazzara." And it was hilarious.
Yeah. He can laugh at just about anything, including himself. But as you said, when he is engaged and keeping his emotions on the right side of the line, I mean, he is a tremendous weapon for these Tigers. And here comes some pressure again. Auburn known as the team toughest to get the ball in against, whether it's under your basket or the opponent's basket. Carr back into the game. Chandler still in there. Butler the kick. Carr in the corner. Misses the 3, and the 2 officials will talk it over. It will stay with Kentucky.
Lamont Butler very good with ball screens. Can snake them and get into the paint. Once you get into the paint, you can spray it out. And Andrew Carr wide open for that 3.
Chris Moore, a 5th-year senior from West Memphis, Arkansas, has checked in now for the Tigers. And he just got run over by Amari Williams. Boy, Auburn contesting every pass.
Well, Kentucky's going to have to work harder to win catches. You have to win that space.
Williams with the height advantage on Moore and draws the foul.
Used his body very effectively, going right into the defense just to draw the foul. He knew he had the advantage.
And that's Moore showing one of the officials, look what happened to me. I mentioned he got run over. Williams kind of plowed through him earlier in this play. Although maybe the blood could have come there, but there was contact several seconds earlier between these two. The officials are going to the monitor. Joe Lindsay will give us the details. Not sure which play they're going to look at.
It was probably the earlier one. Because there was nothing other than a common foul on the Amari Williams shot attempt.
Kelly, the early story, 4 threes. He's banked home 2 of them.
They still count.
Yeah,
they seem to be hung up on this bank thing.
They should count for 4. Here's the earlier play right there.
Yeah, there's nothing there.
There's nothing there, yeah. So the original call, which again it was on a different play, will stand. It is a common foul on Chris Moore.
Yeah, they took a look at it. The official called it. We took a look at the meet and greet.
Is that what he said?
Yeah, so we took a look at the meet and greet.
That's
nothing
funny.
There.
So Williams at the line. The transfer from Drexel has had a terrific year for the Cats. Second on the team in assists. Had a triple-double earlier this season.
And he's been really good over his last 4 games. 15 points, 8 rebounds, 3 of them on the offensive end, and shooting about 60% from the field.
And he'll obviously be entrusted with covering Janai Broome for much of today's game. Broome on the bench right now. Cardwell and Johnson are the 2 big men on the floor for Auburn at the moment.
And we haven't seen it yet, and I doubt we'll see much of it, but you'll see Amari Williams in single coverage on Janai Broome. Just because Broome is such a good passer, he leads Auburn in assists. You don't want to bring 2 to the ball and open up 3s when he could pass it out of a double team.
Jones trying to spin away from Colin Chandler. Chaney Johnson will miss the 3, and it's out of bounds back to Kentucky. Chaney Johnson's been playing great basketball lately for Auburn, getting better and better by the game, it seems, here in the second half of the season.
Now, early in this game, Kentucky's done a nice job of the guards sort of smashing down on the defensive glass and helping the big guys out. And that's one of the reasons they got control of this ball, was Ortega-Owe came down to rebound.
Kentucky 5 turnovers in the first 8 minutes of the game. Carr with good deep position, got his man in the air. Couldn't finish, but he'll go to the line. A 12-point lead already for the #1 team in the nation, the Auburn Tigers. Kentucky looking for another signature win over a terrific team. But they are feeling for it early, and the Tigers have come to play.
I promise you the league's not like this every year.
Hey, you guys are making luck, man.
You guys too. You guys too. You guys too. Take him, Janai! Take him!
I love it, boys. Hey, great job starting out this game on the defensive end. Let's keep going. On the defensive end and on the glass. Let's go, boys. Here we go. Come on.
We want to thank both programs, both coaches giving us all access today. Both coaches, Mark Pope, Bruce Pearl, are mic'd up this afternoon. You heard the pregame speeches. We'll hear some in-game stuff, the halftime speeches, which will be really cool. If you're Mark Pope, what are you saying to your team right now?
Guard Miles Kelly. But actually, the defense hasn't been bad for Kentucky, but they put themselves in some difficult positions with turnovers. I mean, there have been 5 Kentucky turnovers. That's led to 11 Auburn points, and it could have been more had Janai Broome made that little bunny after the Chad Baker-Mazara behind-the-back pass in transition.
Andrew Carr at the line for the Wildcats, 5th-year player. Couple of years at Delaware, 2 at Wake Forest. Let's go to Jess Sims.
Dan, they are fired up over there on the Auburn bench. 2 quick things. Offensively, don't play for the foul. We are not going to defensively, don't give up the 3 balls. We got to stay connected at the top and trust each other.
Jess, thank you. That's something Bruce Pearl reiterated to us yesterday as well. Try to get him off the line, defend the 3 well. Jones with a nice feed to Baker Mazzara.
That's basically how Auburn plays all the time. They want to limit 3s and force you into tough 2s. And because of their shot blocking prowess, anything around the basket is by definition going to be a tough 2.
Both of these teams loaded with transfers. Kentucky, an entirely new team this year, including Williams, as we mentioned, a 5th-year player from Drexel. But both of these coaches have brought together their respective groups of players to have great seasons. Oweh to Williams and muscling it up and in over Cardwell.
It's good to see Amari Williams being so aggressive. He's got 9 double-doubles on the season. And he averages 41 points, assists, and rebounds per 40 minutes. That's 5th in the nation in productivity over a 40-minute span in points, rebounds, and assists.
And he's well on his way today. Less than 9 minutes in, 6 points, 4 rebounds, and 1 assist already.
His growth over the course of this season has been really impressive.
Big Blue Nation getting louder. Kentucky trying to get back into it. Baker Mazzara, a tough shot, and it will go.
He used that screen by Dylan Cardwell so well. Able to just brush off the defender and get him on his hip. Didn't rush it at all.
He's got 7 already to complement the 14 that Kelly's got.
Boy, Auburn's switching has been on point. Bump the cutter and then switch.
Pettiford just did it. The switch on to Butler. Butler trying to back him down. Knocked away. It is out of bounds, and it's Auburn ball.
Another turnover by Kentucky, but at least that one was out of bounds so they can set their defense. It's not a live ball turnover that Auburn can take the other way. But after the switch, trying to make an individual play against Tahad Pettiford, and Pettiford did a nice job of staying in front. And watch using the screen. He brushes off Kobe Brea in drop coverage and then just keeps him on his hip. And he's such a shot maker as a lefty.
These guys are good, and they know it. You can see it in practice and pregame warm-ups. And Butler takes one right back and lays it in.
And he just measured that dribble by Denver Jones and was cat quick in taking it away. One of the best on-ball defenders in the country.
And again, Big Blue Nation getting louder. A 9-point game.
Well, Auburn is really spreading the floor.
Baker Mazzara struggling to pick up some real estate. Leans in, scoops it up and in. And what a game Chad Baker Mazzara is having.
Another great individual play by Auburn. When not able to run clean offense, they have a number of individual playmakers. Gets a little ball screen, re-screen, and then the nice little step-through move to get it off the glass. You saw Tega Oweh just go for that little up fake. He steps through and is able to draw the contact, but more importantly, he finished the play.
Number 2 on Otega Oweh, and Mark Pope is going to take Oweh out of the game. Put him on the bench at least for now. Trent Noah is into the game for the first time, the freshman from Harlan, Kentucky. Meanwhile, Chad Baker Mazzara has scored the last 8 Auburn points.
Yeah, it's been the Miles Kelly and Chad Baker Mazzara show to start this game. Now expect Kentucky, they're going to go after Noah on the offensive end. They're going to target him. But Denver Jones did such a nice job taking away that handoff action and staying between Kobe Brea and the ball, not allowing it. That led to the turnover.
And some miscommunication there between Amari Williams and Ansley Almanor, who were talking it over after yet another Kentucky turnover. Their 7th.
I think Auburn switching along with the physicality on the ball and the pressure has been a puzzle for Kentucky, but Mark Pope will figure this out at some point.
Baker Mazzara, another tough shot. This one will not go. And back comes Kobe Brea. Williams driving on Broom. Up and in, and a chance for 3.
Amari Williams had nobody to pass it to because of the passing lane coverage of Auburn. And Janai Broom just gave up a left-hand drive to a lefty, a big, strong, skilled lefty, and Amari Williams took advantage of it.
And Williams trying to get the crowd a little bit noisier after that foul call. He is back to the free throw line.
If Kentucky can take care of the basketball, they can get right back in this game. But taking care of the ball is job one for the Wildcats.
9 points, 5 rebounds for Williams, keeping them in the game.
Got a foul on Noah, just grabbing Miles Kelly as he was trying to come off for a handoff on the baseline. And you can expect Auburn to look for Miles Kelly right now with this matchup.
Again, because of the injuries, Noah getting a lot more minutes recently than he was earlier in the season. 17 minutes per game. Their last 7 games, made 3 big threes against Tennessee a couple of weeks back. Broom missed it.
They're surprised he didn't take the first opportunity.
Janai Broom is still scoreless. Kobe Brea is not. Bruce Pearl calls a timeout. Kentucky's gotten it from 13, Jay, down to 6.
When you've got a big guy that can initiate offense by bringing it down the floor, that helps your break. And Kobe Brea more than a shooter.
Here's a look at our college basketball ESPN Big Monday doubleheader. Wake is at Duke. Cooper Flagg averaging 22 a game over his last 14. The Demon Deacons really need a big win. And then in the second game, Kansas at Houston. The Cougs have won 7 in a row, Jay, and they are definitely in play for a #1 seed.
Yeah, they lead the nation in playing hard. Auburn is right with them. But those young ladies eating ice cream, that's not the way you eat ice cream. You got to be way more aggressive.
Fortunately, you're going to help America out by showing them the way to eat ice cream at some point during the game. Jones got by Brea, floats it up and in.
A really good read by Denver Jones. Kobe Brea was trying to keep him out of the middle, so he took it to the baseline, stopped short before Amari Williams could block it.
And Lamont Butler forcing the action, and he draws a foul. How about 11:27 into this game? Auburn's got 29 points. They've got an 8-point lead, and National Player of the Year candidate Janai Broom has not scored yet.
Well, he hasn't needed to, but Denver Jones,
oh boy,
limping on that right leg after the contact he had with another strong point guard, Lamont Butler.
Their starting point guard, a good scorer and a tremendous defender. Denver Jones is on the bench. We'll keep you posted. Brea driving it. Got a bump from Moore. And then a block at the rim by Johnson, but a foul is called, or is it goaltending?
He went through the basket to get it.
And they are going to look at it. The call was made, I believe, by KB Burdett. And they will look at it at the next break, at the under-8 timeout.
He at least went right through the net in order to get that. Now, whether he went through the rim.
Pettiford drives and scores. Too easy.
Boy, just a high ball screen. He basically refused it and got all the way to the rim. You have to force him to his weak hand. He's a lefty.
Zahad Pettiford, such an offensive force coming off the Auburn bench. Brea, the turnaround is short. And nobody in white near the glass for the Cats. Back comes Kelly.
And Miles Kelly is a very good guard rebounder.
Wow. And he's a pretty good shooter, too.
Wow.
He decided to go the more conventional way and didn't bank that one home. He's got 17 already. Boy, Moore's a good defender. Williams, the shot put, it won't go. Noah, the rebound. Brea, the save, and it's still Kentucky ball.
What a rebound by Trent Noah.
Brea, a good look. Buries it.
That is a big-time stop and fake to let the defender fly right by. Maverick.
Brea led the nation in three-point shooting a year ago, just under 50%. He's at 44% this year. Kelly, no.
How many teams have a 7-footer bringing the ball up after a defensive rebound?
Poked away, though, by Broom, and it's Auburn ball. Boy, to say Kelly is feeling it is an understatement, but he misses his second in a row. Butler spinning and draws the foul on Pettiford.
How do you guard that? It's like guarding a bowling ball. Well, Miles Kelly, the transfer from Georgia Tech, the best shooter on this Auburn roster, and that's saying something. When he has just a little bit of space, he pulls right up on Noah and drills it. And Kobe Brea, watch how he puts the brakes on. The defender flies by, bottoms.
Welcome back. Dan Schulman, Jay Billis, Jess Sims, Auburn, Kentucky. Let's get you caught up on a couple of things. They did look at the basket on which goaltending was called, and that's the easiest call these three officials will have all season. Definitely a goaltend on Johnson. Count the basket. Here's the injury to Johnson. Got kicked on the outside of the right ankle, which I would think, Jay, is preferable to rolling that ankle, spraining that ankle. He is, though, walking towards the Auburn locker room. If we get any more information, we will let you know. So Auburn down one of its key players right now.
And its best on-ball defender, Denver Jones.
Of course, Kentucky shorthanded. They're without Jackson Robinson. Kirk Kreese has been out for about 2.5 months. There's Robinson, who came back Wednesday in Norman, played 12 minutes in the first half, didn't play in the second half, unable to go today because of the wrist injury.
And how about the pants that Jackson Robinson wore yesterday?
Yeah.
Sequined, they were green with sequins along the side. I think Elvis would have blushed wearing those. I asked him if he wore those at BYU, and he said no.
Yeah. He's had a really good year for Mark Pope, averaging 13 a game. Kentucky's got 5 guys in double figures, and Andrew Carr's really close. Auburn has 6 guys in double figures on the season. They got it down to 6 again after trailing earlier by as many as 13.
Otega Owe on Miles Kelly now. Owe with those 2 fouls.
Kelly already was 17. Pettiford, a challenge to Butler, the rebound, but a foul going against Kentucky, and Chuck Jones is signaling that there's something they want to look at the monitor.
Yeah, Brandon Garrison was trying to block out Janai Broom. And the official says everybody stay here, and then he signals for a replay to see if they can upgrade it. Right underneath the basket there on the left side. They're looking to see if it's a hook and hold. It's actually, you can't really tell. First it started to look like Broom, but they're looking for a hook and hold here. I don't think there is one. It looked like Broom got his arm under their fur. Like Broom's grabbing him right there and then puts his arm underneath. So I don't see how they can call this a hook and hold. That, honestly, that's not even a foul in today's game. That's just rebounding. But Broom's got him by the arm and then hooks his arm underneath. So they're both hooking. And actually, it's Broom that's grabbing on to Garrison.
Yeah, I don't think Garrison initiated any of that.
I don't think it was a foul at all.
But he was called for a common foul on the play.
And unless they upgrade it, that foul will stand. You saw initially, before they got into that arm tangle, it was Janai Broom that had Brandon Garrison. He was grabbing him. But, you know, right now, the way the game's being called, you know, the days of like turning your back and blocking a guy out are over. Yeah. You have to go chuck a guy because the officials don't call it.
A.B. Burdette on the left, Joe Lindsay on the right as they continue to have a look at that last play. So in theory, if they decide that this is on Broom, they could take the common foul away from Garrison and give a flagrant one to Broom, correct?
Well, if they want to get, they'd have to call a flagrant.
Right.
Like, I think what ultimately winds up, unless they upgrade the foul on Garrison to a flagrant, I think it remains as a foul on Garrison, just a common foul.
Denver Jones making his way back to the court. And Joe Lindsay over at the scorer's table right now. We will wait for him to go to the microphone, which we think will happen. And now Chuck Jones, another one of the officials, is over to give us an explanation.
After review, the call on the floor is a double foul, 10 white and 4 blue. Since Kentucky had the rebound, they will remain with possession.
So they gave Broom a foul to make it a double foul, and that is number 2 on Johni Broome.
Yeah, it's an interesting outcome. I've not seen a double foul called in a replay before.
Brandon Garrison is now going over to ask a question of Chuck Jones, as everybody wants to know what happened here. Bruce Pearl is less than pleased with the outcome. So the foul's offset, except they don't, because Broome has gone to the bench with 2, and it's Kentucky ball.
A double screen up top, then a get screen, now a ball screen. Boy, good defense by Auburn.
Not giving Brea any room to get a shot off. Garrison into Carr. Got a height advantage on Johnson. Jump hook, too strong, and Johnson the rebound.
Really good job by Chaney Johnson, just making Andrew Carr take a really tough 2.
6'7", but plays bigger than that, don't you think?
Because of his length, yes.
Pettiford, the lefty, floats it up and in with the right.
Otega Owe gambled trying to get a steal, and that took him out of the play, and Pettiford is such a good offensive player. Another switch.
And the lead back to 8 for the Tigers. 5.5 to go in the first half. And now Johnson called for a foul.
Anytime Kobe Brea is a cutter, they are top blocking him. They're not letting him come back toward the ball, and then they switch it.
Second on Chaney Johnson. Well, he's pleading his case.
We took a look at Tahad Pettiford finishing that play there. That young man is a shot maker. I mean, he's left-handed and wrong-footed, went to that right hand to make that shot. That's big time.
Carr back to the line now for Kentucky.
He has been battling a bad back all season long. Wears a back brace underneath his uniform that gives him a little bit more stability, but he's really battled through that injury.
Kentucky's had a lot to deal with in terms of injuries. They've only been at full strength for 7 of their 28 games this year, as Johni Broome checks back into the game with 2 fouls.
That puts Cardwell and Broome along the front line. That's a lot of shot blocking and size for the Tigers up front.
Auburn and UConn tied for the lead in the nation in blocks per game at 6.6 per game.
Going to a little horn set. Boy, what a screen by Cardwell. Got the switch as a result of it.
Carr on Pettiford. Broome back to Pettiford. And knocked down by Carr. And I think he was beyond the arc, so I think it's 3 free throws coming. And it is.
Because of the switches, that can put you in some odd cross matches. Lamont Butler's having to try to get in front of Dylan Cardwell. There was no contact there at all. None. None.
And that's what Andrew Carr was saying.
Like, there was 0 contact on that. I was thinking maybe Pettiford stuck his foot out, but there was 0 contact.
One more look.
Not one thing.
Pettiford at the line for 3. Missed the first. A young man who, as you well know, Jay, has had some of his best games in some of Auburn's biggest games. 20 at Duke, 21 against Houston, 18 versus Purdue, and he comes off the bench, averaging almost 11 per game.
I thought he was really good at Alabama. At 13 points, went 5 of 10 from the field in that one. And he's really good rejecting ball screens.
Broome is back on the bench, so Bruce Pearl playing a little offense defense. Jaheim Hudson is into the game, a transfer from SMU.
Really important stretch here for Kentucky. Down 8.
And another Auburn foul. It's Hudson grabbing Carr, so Andrew Carr is going right back to the line, and Broom's getting ready to come back in. Every time they're going to get the ball, Bruce Pearl will put Broom back into the game.
Got a nice little back screen from Travis Perry to open things up and get downhill on that cut.
Tomorrow morning, the College Game Day crew will be in South Bend at 11 in the morning to get you set for the final game. Final games of the women's basketball regular season. A great ESPN doubleheader. Number 3, Notre Dame, and number 25, Louisville, followed by number 6, South Carolina, and number 15, Kentucky.
Otega Owe just picked up a cheap foul on a free throw blockout. That's his 3rd foul. That was not a smart play by Owe. The chances of him getting that ball or knocking it away were, what, 5%. That's a huge play. Watch him in the second slot on the left side here, and he just tries to go right up over Janai Broom. That's just not a smart play by usually a very smart player.
And a big, big loss. Owe is their leading scorer on the season, coming off a 28-point game Wednesday against the Sooners. He sits with 3. And Janai Broom still has not scored in this game.
And yet Auburn has a 7-point lead thanks to Miles Kelly and Chad Baker-Mazara.
Travis Perry and Trent Noah, the 2 freshmen, both from the state of Kentucky, in the game at the same time in the backcourt. Carr over Broom. It won't go, but it's tipped out to Williams.
Great tip by Noah.
Right into the chest of Cardwell, but he can't finish. 2 pretty good opportunities for the Cats, but they come up empty.
Those are some substantial bodies you have to go through. Dylan Cardwell defending that with a vertical contest.
Broom will miss a 3, and it's Kentucky ball. Williams, the handoff to Carr. Again, Kentucky running offense through their 4 and 5 guys on the court right now. They're both good passers. Carr short. Noah, another offensive rebound. And then Baker-Mazara anticipates the play beautifully and comes up with a steal.
Just a great read defensively by Baker-Mazara. Noah was cutting to the basket. He read it, took it away.
He's had a great first half for the Tigers. So has this guy. Kelly's got 5 threes and 17 points. A miss here. And it's over the backboard. Back to the Wildcats with 3.5 to go. Number 1 Auburn here at Rupp Arena. They have led wire to wire so far. The Tigers trying to clinch at least a share of the SEC regular season crown. The Wildcats looking for the upset. Kevin and Malcolm, thank you very much. Malcolm is all over. Those turnovers have been a huge part of the story. So has the three-point shooting, especially earlier in the game for Miles Kelly. As the guys mentioned, Janai Broom has not scored. And on the Kentucky side, again, Otega Owe has 3 fouls. He clearly is not going to play for the last 3.5 of this first half.
And Auburn switching has really bothered Kentucky. The switches have been to take away threes. And then they've switched on the cutter so that if the cutter winds up getting the ball, he's still got to make it tough too.
And Jay, interesting, Bruce Pearl was kind of yo-yoing Janai Broom in and out offense defense, but he's got him in on defense now. And remember, Broom has 2.
Well, you want to be able to trust your most veteran players, and he's a veteran player. Good pass.
Noah misses the 3. The rebound, Cardwell. Kentucky 1 for 7 from 3-point range.
And because of Kentucky's turnovers, that's allowed Auburn to get out in transition, where Kentucky's transition has been few and far between those opportunities.
Broom to Kelly. A clear out for Broom. Trying to get on the score sheet. And he'll have a chance to do it at the line.
Well, you know he's going to ultimately turn back to that right shoulder so he can get to the left hand.
First on Amari Williams. Both of those players, Williams and Broom, left-handed, and as Jay said, Broom almost always gets back to his left hand, but he cannot break the ice yet.
Well, even though Amari Williams did a good job of trying to keep him away from that, Johni Broom is so skilled and so strong, he's ultimately going to get back to that right shoulder.
And there is the first point of the afternoon for Broom, and now he'll come out, and Jaheim Hudson will take his place. Deflected by Cardwell, but out of bounds to Kentucky.
Nice little Karate Kid move by Dylan Cardwell there.
If the category was having fun while you're playing basketball, Dylan Cardwell's a first-team All-American.
Well, he may have fun. It's no fun to play against him.
Ray, the handoff to Butler. Again, playing it far less than 100% due to that left shoulder. Noah gives it right back to him.
Well, Auburn's defense has been excellent.
Butler into the paint. No, Williams missed the follow, and then is fouled.
Well, this is a really important last 2 minutes of this first half. You know, can Kentucky get a couple stops and cut into this, what is now an 8-point lead before Amari Williams goes to the line? Or can Auburn stretch it out? But Auburn's switching defense has really been bothersome to Kentucky. That's something at halftime I think they need to adjust and figure out.
Williams on the verge potentially of a double-double here in the first half. Oweh on the bench with 3. And now here comes Broom again. You can tell the Auburn players are well aware of that hesitation in Williams' free throw setup. So many teams have stepped into the lane early and had a free throw lane violation when Williams has been at the line this year. And now Garrison in for Almanor. I don't know if Williams might have gotten a little shaken up or banged up on that play. He's just moving around a little bit more slowly. Took some extra time before he went to the line. And now they all fall into the lane, as I had just talked about it. But the free throw is good for Williams to make it a 7-point game.
You know, most free throw rebounders are really good on the first of a 2-shot. They don't tend to violate after the first one.
That's a good call, buddy. Thank you. Pettiford for 3. Tahat Pettiford makes it a 10-point game.
They'll find a better core of guards on the offensive end than Auburn has. They've just got tremendous shot makers. And with Johni Broom not getting off in this first half, it's really been the guards that have made the difference.
Butler lying on the court comes up with the ball.
That counts as a below-the-rim rebound, I would say.
And Joe Lindsey is signaling to go to the monitor, and Chad Baker-Mazara is down for the Tigers.
Looking for a possible flagrant here.
Review.
Watch Chad Baker-Mazara.
The right arm, I guess, of Lamont Butler on his way up to try to make the shot. Again, watch the right elbow or forearm right there on Baker-Mazara as Butler hit him in the jaw. What do you think?
It looked incidental to me. But anytime it's around the head or neck, you know, it's a crapshoot as to what's going to be called.
We've had 4, maybe 5 reviews already here in the first half of this game.
That's why the review rule needs to change.
Yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculous. And the rule is not the official's fault.
No.
It's the rules committee's fault. And college basketball needs to go the route of the NBA. Give each coach a challenge. And then if you win your first challenge, you keep it for one more, for a maximum of 2.
And again, Joe Lindsay, or one of the officials, should go to the microphone to announce to the crowd what is happening here. Lindsay giving the explanation right now to Mark Pope.
It's got to be an upgrade if they're explaining it this long.
Well, Bruce Pearl seems happier than Mark Pope does, so I think we have our answer. It is going to be a flagrant 1 on Lamont Butler.
So the unobserved act in the drive of the basket, which is being unnecessary, off on. That's an upgrade to the check.
All right, KB Burdett over to tell you what was going on. What'd you get?
He said the unobserved action has been deemed an F2 or an F1, excuse me, F1 as unnecessary. So it will be 2 shots by Chad Baker-Mazara if he's able to shoot the free throws, and it looks like he is. And then Auburn basketball. That's a huge play. A huge play.
Mark Pope still not happy. A 90% free throw shooter at the line in Baker-Mazara.
After review, flag 1 foul on 1 white, 10 blue to shoot 2 shots and get the ball.
And that will extend the lead to a dozen. Kentucky had gotten it down to 6 on a number of occasions here in the first half, but it's back to 12 now. One more look. Mark Pope pacing with Joe Lindsay, one of the officials, still arguing the call. Hardwell to Broom. Defended by Williams. The right hand this time, and it won't go.
Excellent defense by Amari Williams, and Kentucky really needed that stop.
And they get this into single digits by the end of the half. Butler, left hand, but no, and Broom the rebound.
Boy, beautiful step through, but Auburn has numbers.
Baker-Mazara will step back and bury a 3, and it's the biggest lead of the afternoon for the Tigers.
When Chad Baker-Mazara had at least 2 teammates on the other side of the floor calling for the ball, but he saw that he had Trent Noah on him, and he was taking it himself.
He has been great in the first half. 5 for 7, 14 points. Brandon Garrison, who made a couple of threes Wednesday in Norman, will miss this one here. Williams got knocked down. And we have an Auburn foul on Dylan Cardwell.
Just making an individual play with the step back. He's got the size and length and athleticism to shoot it over Noah. And right now, Chad Baker-Mazara is not only having a really good first half, but he's having fun.
Amari Williams back to the line again. That's his 7th free throw attempt of the game. Now 5 for 7.
Well, we were looking at an 8-point game, and then you had the flagrant 1 called on Lamont Butler against Chad Baker-Mazara, and all of a sudden the floodgates have opened up.
47-34. Kelly with 17. Baker-Mazara with 14. Pettiford with 11. Broom with 1. But Auburn's got a 13-point lead.
When Mark Pope has had to go to a number of different lineups in this game.
Owe, due to foul trouble, has not been much of a factor at all. Cardwell keeps it alive. Baker-Mazara lays it in.
Auburn has really taken advantage of this lineup for Kentucky. What an answer.
Baker Mazara is talking to everybody who will listen and several people who don't even want to. Tigers are having fun.
Go take it. Yep. Match up, man. Match up, match up. Stay on the glass now. Stay on the glass. Guys, clean rebounds and we got to go. Just keep fighting for pace. Guys, we're right here, man. We're right here. We haven't even put juice in this game yet. We're right here. Let's go.
As all Kentucky fans know, Mark Pope is a relentlessly positive human being, but they've got their work cut out for them right now, Jay, against the #1 team in the nation.
And right now, the task is to get a bucket before halftime to just cut a little bit into this lead. Because in the last 2 minutes, Auburn has really stretched it out. The catalyst for that was that F1 foul put on Lamont Butler. And that was a huge play in this game.
Otega Owe on the bench with 3 fouls, has 4 points in 11 minutes. Kentucky's made only 1 3 in the first half, 1 for 8.
And remember, he is a second-half player, and he's going to need a second half in this one.
Brea defended by Kelly. Air ball on the 3. And a foul underneath going against the Tigers.
And it has been hand-to-hand combat in the lane and on the glass.
Number 3 on Jaheim Hudson, who is in there to keep Broom on the bench because he's got 2. And it'll be Amari Williams back to the line yet again. The free throw line is helping to keep Kentucky somewhat close in this game. That will not go for Williams. He's now 6 for 9. They're 15 for 19. And I think with the physical play and all of the reviews, it's been a very choppy first half between 2 of the best offensive teams in the nation. Auburn's got 49 here in the first half, but it has not been the kind of free-flowing affair we had hoped for. And Williams missed them both. And the first half will come to a close with Auburn on the road here in Lexington, leading by 15. It has not been Janai Broom, one of the top 2 candidates for the National Player of the Year. It has been the guards, Miles Kelly, Chad Baker Mazara, Tahad Pettiford leading the way. Bruce Pearls with Jess.
Coach, your guards have 44 points, outscoring Kentucky as an entire team. How have they ignited your offense?
You know, Kentucky's got great shot blockers. They got great size on the inside. And in order to get back in transition, we just talked about just trying to take open shots. Now, Miles Kelly did bank a couple in. I don't know that those should have counted.
But they sure did. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
49 in the first half and a 15-point lead for Auburn over Kentucky with 20 minutes to go here in Lexington. Let's send you back to the studio now with Kevin and Malcolm. Welcome back to Saturday Primetime on ESPN. You are watching the SEC on ESPN. And what a performance in the first half by the Auburn guards. Miles Kelly knocked down 5 threes, had 17. Chad Baker Mazara had 16. Tahad Pettiford chipped in with 11. Those 3 guards, 44 of their 49 points in this ESPN Sonic blockbuster. Dan Shulman, Jay Billis back with you here in Kentucky. A 15-point lead. What did Auburn do well? What does Kentucky need to do better?
You chronicled the scoring of the guards. They've got so many weapons, but the most impressive thing to me was Auburn's defense. They were switching everything, and they really did a good job of top blocking Kobe Brea and other shooters and trying to take away their threes. Kentucky 1 of 9 from the three-point line in the first half, and Auburn forced Kentucky into a lot of tough twos. The Wildcats got to the free throw line, but they get oxygen from threes, and Mark Pope and his staff have to come up with something to combat Auburn's switching, because the game plan for Auburn has been impeccable.
Some notes here. Otega Owe hampered by foul trouble. Needless to say, Kentucky needs a big second half out of their leading scorer. And Denver Jones, who was kicked in the right ankle in the first half, did not return in the last 7-8 minutes of the first half and is not starting the second half. You can see he looks better now than he did about half an hour ago, but it will be Tahad Pettiford who starts in the second half for the Tigers as we are ready for the tip here in the second half of our Sonic blockbuster matchup. First possession of the Wildcats. Williams, a really good first halfer. Kentucky would be in even more trouble right now. Remember, Janai Broom's got 2 fouls as well. Butler underneath, and he turned it over. And the biggest problem Kentucky had in the first half shows itself on the first possession here in the second.
That's 11 turnovers for the game now. And not to oversimplify things, you turn the ball over, you don't get a shot, you don't get a chance for an offensive rebound, you don't get a chance to get fouled.
And turning it over and only one made three in the game, an absolutely impossible recipe against a team as good as Auburn.
Auburn probably doesn't get enough credit for the defensive team that they are, but their offense is so impressive. It takes your mind off of defense.
Yeah, they are first in the nation in offensive efficiency per KenPom. They are a very respectable 12th in the nation in defensive efficiency.
And their offensive efficiency is historic.
Yes. As Butler forces it up and will draw the foul. The KenPom heir is 24 years old. Auburn's offensive efficiency this year, #1 for any team in those 24 years. Butler will head to the line, the transfer from San Diego State. Cardwell just picked up his 3rd.
Well, just think of these Auburn guards. You know, they all shoot 38% from 3 or better. And as a group shoot 40%. And they all shoot from the free throw line 85% or better. And a couple guys shoot right at 90. I mean, that is as efficient as it gets for guards.
And they are second in the nation, not just the guards, the team. As you take a look at the 3-point shooting numbers that Jay was referring to, the team is second in the nation in assist to turnover ratio behind only Gonzaga.
You know, a lot of good shooting teams, their best shooter shoots 37%. And that's the worst shooter among these guards.
Broom, his first field goal of the game.
That's the way they started the game, trying to get the ball inside to him. And Auburn, if they can get him going, that gives them a 1-2 punch with their perimeter and interior that is awfully difficult to beat.
How many teams could score 49 points in the first half when their leading scorer didn't have a field goal? Butler is fouled again, and give Lamont Butler a tremendous amount of credit. I mean, he is just finding a way to get into the paint and draw fouls, and that's #4 on Cardwell.
And Andrew Carr did a nice job of screening off Janai Broom so he could not get to the rim and try to block or change that shot by Lamont Butler.
So Cardwell leaves. Chaney Johnson is in, and another look at the foul here on Cardwell right there at the end of the play.
And a terrific job by Carr of screening off Broom.
And Butler makes them both. So Pettiford at the point with Jones on the bench with an ankle injury. Broom an air ball, and it's Kentucky ball.
They went right to their flex action and hit Broom on the backside. But you don't want to be shooting that shot. That had to be a foul.
No,
He got grabbed.
Always called for a travel.
I thought he got grabbed. He got grabbed. His arm around him.
Yeah. The Tigers get away with one, and it's Auburn ball.
I think it was referred to as unobserved action.
Pettiford, no. Broom had it, but Williams secures it for Kentucky.
Another double-double for Amari Williams. That's 10 on the season.
Broom pokes it away. Baker Mazzara ahead to Pettiford for the slam.
Boy, the turnovers have been an absolute killer for Kentucky. And not just the fact they turn it over again.
Fast break points in this game, Jay. 15-4 Auburn. Points off turnovers, 15-3 Auburn.
And that was a turnover for a touchdown. The knockaway by Janai Broom leads to a dunk by Pettiford. And then just not handling the ball, inbounding it. Lamont Butler letting it go right out of bounds in front of the Auburn bench.
Baker Mazzara with a force, and it's down to Brea. Brea lost it. Pettiford again, and he's fouled, and just an unforced turnover there committed by Kobe Brea.
Well, Kobe Brea thought Kentucky's got numbers, and just a mishandling of the ball. We've seen a little bit of that throughout the course of this game. A little inside out move, just lost the ball, and Auburn's off to the races again.
15 turnovers now committed by the Wildcats to just 4 by the Tigers.
One of the officials called it on the floor. Another must have overruled him.
5 turnovers already in this half, Jay, in 2 minutes and 48 seconds.
A couple of them have been, maybe 3 really careless turnovers.
How many teams in America can bring a guy as potent off the bench as Todd Pettiford has been for Auburn?
Maybe Iowa State with Curtis Jones. Other than that, you're not going to see many guys that are bucket getters like the Todd Pettiford. He's a McDonald's All-American. He'd be starting on most any team in the country.
And it made them both.
And he needed this because coming into the game, his last 3, he's averaging just over 3 points a game. He's 3 of 16 from the field. 1 of 10 from 3 over that 3-game stretch.
And as you see, that's an unbelievable stat right there. Kentucky's not even attempted a shot. And there's another 6 possessions and 6 turnovers for Kentucky here in the second half.
It's almost like they're getting at times caught between cuts because of the Auburn switching. Auburn switching has really, really bothered Kentucky in this game.
If I could wish one thing for us right now, is that we would find some pace to this game. Okay? And you guys know how fast we can turn this. You guys know how fast we can turn it. Okay? It's on us right now. This is a test for us. Let's go. Okay? Come on, come on, come on.
And Mark Pope's not wrong. They're the 3rd highest scoring team in the nation, and they can turn things around quickly, but not when you don't get any shots off. 6 possessions, 6 turnovers, Jay, here in the second half.
Yeah, 0 field goal attempts. They've gotten fouled a couple times. Without the fouls, those would have been field goal attempts. My favorite thing about the locker room scene is the poor guy that has to write all that stuff on the whiteboard. Yeah. You think everybody's reading that? That was a lot of information up there.
Were you that guy as a grad assistant back at Duke?
No, writing on the board? No, we didn't do that. But I would not have read all that. I had other assignments. A 1-3-1 half-court trap right now for Kentucky, just trying to change the rhythm of this game.
This is the largest lead of the game for Auburn. Kelly. In and out, and Williams yet another rebound. That's his 12th.
He has really been at work in this game on the glass.
You can see Kentucky trying to get some backdoor cuts. There's another attempt at it, trying to take advantage of the aggressive nature with which Auburn defends, but they haven't really been able to do it.
No, there's pressure on the ball. Everybody's been alert, but the switches have been on point. It's one thing to switch, but Auburn switches to take things away.
Williams one-on-one with Broom. The handoff for Brea. And the baseline jumper will go. It's a 2 for Kobe Brea. That is Kentucky's first field goal since 7:21 left in the first half.
That is absolutely remarkable. And the defensive job that Auburn has done in this game, especially to run Kentucky off the 3-point line, has been fantastic.
And Kelly with a chance for a 4-point play.
And Owe with his 4th foul.
Man.
Just trying to put pressure on the shot. Didn't give Kelly a chance to land. And he not only drained it, he gets a free throw on top of it. Nothing going right for Kentucky.
Miles Kelly with his 6th made 3 of the afternoon. And Owe undoubtedly is headed to the bench. Saying we enjoyed ice cream at halftime, but I'm not saying we didn't.
I did.
Coming up here on ABC, the Bruins and the Penguins, the ageless ones. Sid the Kid leading the Pens against the Bruins. Boston right now on the outside looking in to the playoff picture for the NHL. The puck will drop at 3:20 Eastern time here on ABC. And later on tonight, another outdoor game. It'll be the Red Wings or the Blue Jackets from Ohio State, 6 o'clock Eastern on ESPN.
Sidney Crosby's really good, but he's no Turk Broda.
That is such an inside joke. There are only 3 people in the world who get that joke, and you and I don't know who the third person is. But somewhere he's out there and he's laughing. What a performance here by Auburn to extend the lead to 20. And on the other hand, Kentucky, one of the best offensive teams in the nation, 3rd in the nation at scoring at better than 85 points per game. They cannot get anything going. Andrew Carr inside, that'll help.
Kobe Bryant came off of Andrew Carr with the switch. Carr did a nice job of just sort of ducking into the switch to get that bucket. But these switches for Auburn have been spectacular.
Speaking of spectacular, how about the shooting for the Tigers today as Miles Kelly makes his 7th 3 of the afternoon.
Already eclipsing that 22 he had against Florida. Miles Kelly has been on point. He was an outstanding shooter and player at Georgia Tech. But to have him as your, what, 4th best scorer?
Yeah.
And he's made, coming into this game, he was top 15 in the Southeastern Conference with 63s. And he's probably going to tell Bruce Pearl, you don't give me the ball enough.
I mean, they've got 7 different players who on any given day can be the guy for this Auburn team. And now we have what looks like another review.
Previous plays under review.
What'd you find out?
Well, they felt Amari Williams told them that he felt like he got intentionally hit on a screen in the nether region. So they're going to take a look.
The foul call was on Janai Broom, his 3rd. Oh, now they switched it to Chris Moore. Originally, they thought it was on Broom. The foul call was on Chris Moore.
Do the ratings go up with the amount of television the officials have watched in this game?
The 6th review here in this game.
And again, this is not the official's fault. This is by rule.
I think nothing extra yet. Nothing extra, just a common foul on Moore.
Incidental contact. It probably didn't feel incidental to Amari Williams.
Remember, the Auburn Tigers have lost 20 consecutive games in this arena. The last time they won was 1988. Bruce Pearl, as Auburn coach, 0-6 here at Rupp Arena. And remember, again, a win here today for the Tigers clinches at least a share of the SEC regular season title. Now, you may be saying, hey, they're the #1 team in the nation. That's no big deal. But we'll tell you more as the game goes along. To Bruce Pearl, it's a big deal. And out of bounds. Another turnover. And Amari Williams still appears to be in discomfort.
I think they called some sort of foul here on Shaney Johnson.
Yeah. We had one official signaling out of bounds, but the other overruled with a foul call. And this one, we are told, is on Broom. So that is now his 3rd. Carr Lamar to a cutting Butler. Spins, had it blocked by Johnson.
But the defense played by Auburn in this game. A terrific back cut, but Chaney Johnson right there with the athleticism, the long arms, and the timing to block that shot.
And remember, Auburn is still doing this without Denver Jones, who left midway through the first half after getting kicked in the ankle. Chandler didn't go up with it, kicked it out to Brea. Brea having to put it on the deck, drives and draws the foul.
But look what Kentucky has to do. Just a great individual drive with the left hand by Kobe Brea, going with his right just at the end. Got hit on the head. But Kentucky has been able to run no clean offense against this Auburn defense. And again, the switching that the Tigers have employed and the way they have done it has been debilitating to Kentucky's offense.
The only battle Kentucky is winning right now is they are piling up some fouls on Auburn. It's already 5 here in the second half of the Tigers, as Garrison will replace Williams. But the biggest individual foul problem belongs to Kentucky. That's Otega Owe on the bench with 4. Dylan Cardwell does have 4 for Auburn. But Kentucky needs all the offense it can get, and Owe certainly a guy who can provide that, but he's on the bench for a while.
Kentucky sticking with this 1-3-1.
Chris Moore will take one from the corner and hit.
And against a 1-3-1, it's the corners that are going to be open. That low man in the 1-3-1 has a lot of space to cover.
Moore, a 5th-year player, all 5 years in the Auburn program with a corner 3. Brea knocks one down right over Moore at the other end.
Boy, that's deep on top of deep by Kobe Brea.
And can Brea be the guy to try to lead them back? He's now got a dozen, and again, one of the most potent shooters in the SEC, if not the nation.
Got Miles Kelly in the left corner. Good pass.
Moore sneaking around on the baseline. Follows his miss and puts it home. 5 quick points for Moore.
And terrific second effort. Moore in the game primarily as a defender. But you give 5 points on top of it, that makes you doubly valuable.
He averages just over 1 point per game on the season. Brea with a shot fake, gets it off and hits another one.
They got one defender to fly by, then Miles Kelly flew right at him. And right now the Auburn coaching staff saying, hey, our whole plan was to take away threes and we give up 2 in a row.
Kobe Brea with the last 8 points for the Wildcats. A clear out for Broom, driving on Garrison and foul.
Boy, what a quick spin move. And Janai Broom, as a post player, doesn't have to catch the ball right on the block. I mean, that's an extended post catch, but watch this quick turn. And all of a sudden, he's past Garrison. Garrison had no choice but to foul him to keep him from completing that play.
So Janai Broom at the line. Without question, it's a 2-man race for National Player of the Year right now. Janai Broom of Auburn is one of them. Cooper Flagg of Duke is the other. And you can see them Monday night as the Blue Devils host Wake at 7 Eastern, then Kansas and Houston at 9 Eastern. Duke down a couple of bodies right now, both Malik Brown and Tyrese Proctor. But, Jay, it does feel like they got about the best news they could get about Proctor's knee. Nothing structural, a bone bruise, and he should return at some point, hopefully within the next couple of weeks for the Blue Devils.
Yeah, that is good news for Duke.
Chad Baker-Mazara has checked back in for Auburn. The Tigers have extended their lead from 15 at halftime to 19 right now. Chandler to Garrison. Here comes Brea.
A terrific job by Kelly to stick with Kobe Brea.
Brea's got to find help, gets it to Butler. Shot clock's at 3. Almanor tips it to Brea.
What a smart play by Hensley Almanor.
And there was a foul on the play as well. Count the basket. What a play by Hensley Almanor.
Yeah, it looks like they got Chad Baker-Mazara over the top, but a spectacular play by Hensley Almanor. Seeing Kobe Brea right there and tipping it to him. That's a big-time play. The defense so good up until the inability to grab the defensive rebound.
So Butler's going to sit. Travis Perry returns. Brea's at the line, having a huge second half.
And Kentucky with another different lineup in the game. Got both Chandler and Perry in the game. And Mark Pope had said yesterday, we have been dancing with weirdness with our lineups due to injuries and fouls.
Brisa injured for a long time. Robinson injured today. Owe in foul trouble. Brea has now got the last 11 for Kentucky. Is that serious? The video's on?
Are the pictures going out anywhere?
I think he's messing with it. According to Twitter, he's messing with this. 2:53. Truck? If we come back on, should I say what? Lexington, Dan Schulman, Jay Billis, Jess Sims. We know we have been gone for a while now. Everybody joining us on ESPN News. Here is what happened. A generator here at Rupp Arena caught on fire. So first and foremost, thankfully, from what we understand, everybody is okay. But obviously that knocked us off the air for a long, long time. We are back, and while we were away, Auburn just kept doing what it's doing. They've played physically, they've played good defense, they've executed well at the offensive end, and number one is on its way to get another road victory in the SEC.
Yeah, the time we were away, it has been more of the same for Auburn. Their defense has been outstanding. It's been just a tremendous performance by the Auburn guards, especially Chad Baker-Mazara. Miles Kelly has been spectacular, and Tahad Pettiford, who's taken over the point guard duty since Denver Jones went out of the game with that foot, and he got kicked in the foot, his right foot ankle area, and he's not been back in the game since. And Pettiford's taken over and done a fabulous job both running the team and offensively.
All three of those perimeter players have at least 20 points. There's Jones, kicked in the right ankle. Was originally questionable to return, but now has been ruled out. Kelly has a career-high 8 threes, and he's got 27 points. Pettiford has 21 points, 6 for 9 from the field. Chad Baker-Mazara has 20 points. So they've combined for 68. In spite of a rare off game for Janai Broome, Auburn is going to, or seems to be on the way to winning this game handily on the road against a really good team in Kentucky, and that's a credit to the depth and the number of different options they've got.
And the defense and the defensive game plan. This could be number 9. Wow. He has had a career game against Kentucky in Rupp Arena. But the defensive game plan for Auburn, Dan, has been spectacular and just so well executed. The switching, taking away the three-point line from Kentucky. Kentucky's got 18 turnovers in this game to just 8 for Auburn.
With a win here today, and they're a minute and 42 away, the Auburn Tigers will clinch at least a share of the SEC regular season title. If Alabama loses later today at Tennessee, then Auburn would be the outright regular season champs. Their first win here at Rupp Arena in 37 years. And Dylan Cardwell, of course, with the benefit of the extra year, the 5th year, would have become the all-time winningest player in Auburn basketball history. But there's more. Bruce Pearl told us yesterday what this would mean to him. He has never had a lot of success. He hasn't had any success in this arena as Auburn's coach, 0-6 all time. And he told us yesterday, this is such an important building, like a mecca for basketball. He said, I'm from Boston. This is like the Boston Garden in the NBA. To win a regular season title here would mean the world to him. And then he went on to say, Jay, as you well know, you were there. He said, I'm a grinder. He goes, if we win the SEC tournament, awesome. 3 games. He said, this is 18 games, and I'm a grinder. To win this here would mean the world to him.
And the way Auburn has played, not only throughout SEC play in the season, but the way they played on the road in this league has been remarkable. Just remarkable. This is, in my judgment, the best team in the country. Like Duke and Houston are right up there. But Auburn, I think, has proven through arguably the nation's toughest schedule that they're the best team.
Kelly tries again. That would have been his 10th made 3. But still an extraordinary day. 9 for 14 from 3, 30 points for Miles Kelly.
And Bruce Pearl told Just Sims at halftime, I don't know if those 2 banked threes should count, but they do. He has had an extraordinary day here in Rupp Arena.
And again, we thank everybody for their patience and understanding. A fire at the generator here with Rupp Arena is what knocked us off the air. Again, fortunately, everybody's okay. We're sorry you didn't get to see all of the game, but a really, really impressive performance by Bruce Pearl's Auburn Tigers. Indisputably the #1 team in the nation with the kind of season that they have put together so far.
And the kind of statement that the Auburn Tigers made today.
Colin Chandler gathers and scores. The shot clock turned off. There were such high hopes here at Lexington, such a great atmosphere at the beginning. They were looking for another big win. But so many have tried and so few have succeeded against Auburn this year. The #1 Tigers are now 27-2 on the season and have clinched at least a share of the SEC regular season title. The 3 guards combining for 73